Eto na ang programang magiging gabay mo upang ikaw ay matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Makinig at matuto. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela! Alternatibong programang handog ng DepEd Soxargen na kahit saan ka man ay matututo ka. DepEd 12 Radyo Eskwela!
Naguguluhan, nalilito. Paano ba
Good day, grade 10 students. This is your school on the air in grade 10 English. I'm glad to be learning with you through radio. I am Mr. Danilo Coquilla Jr. from Buayan National High School. How are you, my dear students? I hope you are in a comfortable place to listen to our broadcast. Have you eaten your meal? In order for you to learn and understand our lesson today, it would be better if you have already eaten your meal. Greetings also to all the parents and guardians listening out there. Thank you for your untiring support to your children. Learners, we are now in Quarter 2, Module 3. You are about to begin a new learning adventure. Are you excited? The lesson that we're about to discuss is formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. In the previous lesson that we had discussed, you learned about declarative statements, rhetorical questions, and passive voice in argumentative text. Do you still remember how to identify declarative statements, rhetorical questions, and passive voice? I hope you did. What else did you learn from our previous lesson on declarative statements, rhetorical questions, and passive voice in argumentative text? Very good! You learned about declarative statements, rhetorical questions, and passive voice in argumentative text. A declarative sentence is a sentence that makes a statement, provides a fact, offers an explanation, or conveys information. This kind of sentence ends with a period. In argument text, declarative statements are used in making a claim, enumerating reasons, and presenting evidences. Here are some examples. Internet should be made free to everyone. The government is doing everything to protect its people against this deadly coronavirus. Study shows that physical distances slow down the spread of the virus. A rhetorical question is a type of question that doesn't need to be answered. It is usually used to emphasize a point or idea. It may end with a question mark, but is technically not a question at all because the audience is not expected to actually respond. It may also have an obvious answer. In many cases, it used to start a discourse or as a means of putting across a speaker's or author's opinion on a topic. Here are some examples. Do you want to lose weight without feeling hungry? Is Pope a Catholic? What is the meaning of life? The passive voice is another language feature present in argumentative text. It is usually comes in the form verb be plus past participle of the main verb, depending on the tense, like was formulated, were discussed, will be presented, has been raised, and etc. It is used when the actor is unknown, irrelevant, or important. Examples are: the artifacts were stolen from the museum. An alternative route was opened to the public. Communication has been revolutionized by the internet. The new product can be bought at any drugstore. Now that you have learned about the important points in this lesson, it's time for you to explore further. As we go through, This lesson will activate and expand your schema on formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. Everyday conversation and writing is characterized not only by factual statements, but also expressions of one's personal views, judgment, beliefs, and convictions. In other words, we often make statements or assertions of fact, opinion, belief, and even prejudice. This is because we often process and interpret factual evidence based on our own values, feelings, taste, and experiences. Fowler H. Ramsey, 1986, as outlined in the Colorado State University website, describe assertion as a term generally used to refer to statements of fact, opinion, belief, and prejudice. These categories of assertion are quite different from one another. A fact is a verifiable statement. It can be proven objectively by verified observations or the results of research, among others. Because statements of fact can be double-checked for accuracy, there is general agreement between the truth they suggest. On the other hand, an opinion is a personal judgment based on facts. Hence, it is debatable and potentially changeable. The third category is called belief, which is a conviction based on cultural or personal faith, morality, or values. A statement of belief may look similar with an opinion, but they are not based on evidence. That is why they cannot be contested or argued in a rational or logical manner. Lastly, there is rather vague category called commonplace assertion. This is a stereotype, an oversimplification, or a prejudice, which is a half-baked opinion based on insufficient or unexamined evidence, but it presented as if it were a fact. It is often accepted from others, families, friends, media, and etc., making it too common to be questioned about its truthfulness. These categories of assertion are so prevalent in social media today, and the distinction between one another is slowly becoming unclear because of how netizens present everything as a fact. This is why every social media needs to be a critical and informed reader to be able to verify the truthfulness of the information he or she comes across. In one of the previous modules, you learned about the language of research, advocacies, and campaigns. Opinions and assertions are very important in advocacies and campaigns. Hence, it would be advantageous for a writer or even a speaker to clearly express their views on important matters. To start with, I want you to bring out your self-learning module. Let me remind you that our lesson for today is about formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. Learners, please be ready to learn our new lesson. If you want to go to the toilet or drink water, do it now, because in a few moments, we will formally start our lesson. Hello learners, we're back! Please get your self-learning module as well as your notebook and your pen. Are you holding these materials now? Very good! Indeed, you are now ready for our discussion. Learners, this is our Quarter 2, Module 3. Please expect lots of activities in this lesson, but I'm sure you can do all the activities in this lesson well. Happy learning! Good day again, learners. I'm back, your radio teacher, Mr. Danilo Coquilla Jr. As what I have said a while ago, our lesson for today is about formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. In your module, page 5, is the activity number 2, I am critical reader. Go over each of the following statements and write fact if it is factual, and opinion if it is personal interpretation or conclusion derived from factual evidence, and assertion if it is a commonplace assertion or a claim that is not supported by evidence. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. Hello learners! This time you will learn more about formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. Whenever you browse your newsfeed, you will be able to tell how much of the post you read is factual and how much is opinionated. If you can tell between fact and opinion or assertion, then you are likely to fall victim to misinformation or fake news. As a 21st century learner, you should be able to tell the difference between the two. Similarly, you are also expected to know how to properly construct statements of opinion or assertion. Let me share with you a detailed discussion of opinion and commonplace assertion. An opinion is a type of assertion which expresses a judgment, viewpoint, or statement about matters commonly considered to be subjective. It is personal view. However, it is still based on facts. In other words, it is an honest attempt to draw a conclusion from factual evidence and not a mere statement of one's belief, preference, or prejudice. Example: the president is the worst leader the country has ever had. An opinion statement is composed mainly of a debatable topic and a focus, like the specific feeling or belief the writer or speaker has about the topic. It can sometimes be distinguished from other constructions because it often uses qualifying words such as almost, usually, maybe, probably, often, some, most, and in most cases. It does not have to be explicitly stated using the words I think or in my opinion. Take for instance the sentence, most public schools are ready for distance education. The word most makes the sentence an opinion that is easier to support. Opinions result from ambiguities. The more ambiguous a statement, the more difficult it is to verify, and so they are open to disputes. There are three categories of opinion statements, namely, it is an opinion that something is or is not the case. For example, with a minimal number of COVID-19 cases in the city, Baguio City clearly has more effective contact tracing methods than most cities in the country. It is an opinion statement which claims that something does or does not have worth. For example, hard lockdowns of barangays have not been effective in controlling the spread of the coronavirus. Lastly, it claims that something should or should not be done. For example, amidst the ongoing pandemic, what teachers and students need is not academic freeze, but material, moral, and instructional support from leaders in the education department. Take note that the given examples are claims or statements that are based on existing facts or on the writer's interpretation of these facts. Hence, they can be debated or opposed. In other words, they are personal views. They can be true for speaker or writer, but they can't be true for everybody else. It is therefore important to make the readers aware of the evidence and how it will lead you to arrive at your opinion. Another statement or expression that is somewhat similar to an opinion is called commonplace assertion. Readers and listeners sometimes confuse the two with each other. However, a commonplace assertion does not appear to be as subjective as an opinion. Instead, it claims universality and it's presented as an absolute truth. Further, a commonplace assertion is a statement used to make a declaration or to express strong belief on a particular topic, often without evidence. They are so common because they are passed on by friends, family members, and the media. They are believed to be true even without proof, and some statements of commonplace assertion have become stereotypes. For example, men are stronger than women. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Written as declarative sentences, these statements appear to be facts. But let us analyze each of them. The first example is a typical stereotype, a statement that many people have accepted to be true. However, There is no evidence to support this, and there are many layers of statement that are ambiguous. For instance, it is not clear if it is referring only to physical strength. This is why the statement is something that many women have been trying to disprove. As for the second example, many people have also accepted this as a fact. However, it is not clear how an apple can keep someone so healthy that he or she wouldn't need to visit a physician anymore. Moreover, it is still possible that someone who eats apple every day could get sick and will need to visit a doctor. It is clear from these examples of commonplace assertion that readers need to be critical about the information they read, so as not to assume that these unfounded statements are absolute truth. Similarly, writers need restraint in presenting their prejudices and opinions as factual statements. In other words, personal views should be presented as opinions and not as stereotypes or even facts. By this time, be able to distinguish between facts and opinions or assertions. Practice your skill by reading the commentary on page 7 entitled On Social Media and Education, and identify the opinions embedded in the article. Great! You have just explored formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. You are now up to the next challenge. Learners, please bring out your handout and look for Activity 3, Fact or Opinion. Read the facts given and then identify which of the succeeding statements are debatable opinions drawn from the said facts. Put a check mark on their corresponding box. Please see worksheet on page number 9. Hello learners! Let us now continue with the remaining activities for today. Now that you have learned a lot from the varied activities given in our module, let us now go into write a statement of opinion or assertion for each of the given topics. Please see worksheet on page 10. Activity 4, My 2 cents worth. Good job! Now, you are down to the last activity. Learners, did you find the lesson interesting? Very good. Before we proceed, can you please take a deep breath and smile? Deep breathing is good for the health. Smile means you love what you're doing. I hope that you have understood and enjoyed our lesson today on formulating a statement of opinion or assertion. I believed you have learned a lot from the very start of our lesson. It's a pleasure that you will perfectly remember the significant point of our lesson. Looking forward to be with you again in our next lesson. Now that we are done, it is time to measure your knowledge on what you have learned today. Please bring out your quiz form. Write your name, section, and date today. Please do not forget to indicate the lesson and the number of this quiz today. Quarter number 2, module number 3. Hello there again, learners! Are you ready? Please set aside your notes. This time, you are going to differentiate an opinion from a commonplace assertion through a Venn diagram. Please see worksheet on page number 10, activity number 5, entitled Similar Yet Different. Finally, you are going to interview one of your parents and 2 friends or classmates. Let them cite an assertion or a statement that they strongly believe is true, even if it's not supported by any evidence. Likewise, ask them to give a 1-sentence opinion regarding any of the following issues. Health and safety protocols in Baguio City. Traffic scheme in the city. Opening the city to tourists, modular learning, and academic freeze. Please see worksheet on page number 11, activity number 6, entitled Speaking Out. That ends your short quiz for today. I hope you got all the correct answers. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. That ends our class for today with quarter number 2, module number 3. Another lesson has been learned and understood. To further enhance your understanding on the lesson, please read your handouts or module. You are always encouraged to attend to our air school every session. Until next time, I am your teacher on air, Mr. Danilo Coquilla Jr. from Buayan National High School. Allow me to end our class with an inspirational quote about life and success by a German poet, playwright, novelist, scientist, statesman, theater director, critic, and amateur artist, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Wishing is not enough, we must do. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Keep safe and God bless.
Bagong araw na naman, bagong kaalaman, bagong matututunan sa paaralang panghimpapawid. Kami samahan, sabayan ng mga aralin, mga gawain siguradong kagigiliwan. Oras na, alisto na, halina't makinig at matuto sa radyo.